Hello, welcome back to Rani's Voices number 17. This time, I'm going to talk about perception versus illusion. Okay, perception is something what our mind interprets when you see some things or when you watch something, and it lets you interpret the world around us. But sometimes what we see is not what it is or what truly exists. So, illusion is something a false or misleading perception. That's according to me. It's a misleading perception created by limited understanding of various things. When I was watching 9/11 skyscrapers going down World Trade Center live. I was watching the news and that happened. But the first person who got killed was a Sikh, was an Indian root, but living in America, mistaken for identity. So, this kind of tragedy shows how fear and misunderstanding can turn perception into illusion. Okay. And it is very, very dangerous as assumptions can be. Now, I just made plenty of things to represent the perception and illusion because it's a very dangerous one, which is created by things around us. For example, when you watch a movie, it showcases certain things over and over and over again, and it makes you think that that is the truth. Or, uh, you know, we judge the entire group by the wrong, by the not well thought out, bad stuff in the world. That is, the entire group is bad, or entire race is bad, or entire religion is bad. No, it's nothing to do with religion, it's nothing to do with race. There are few people who are doing that. That few can be many in certain things or less in certain kind of people, but that is not what we have to perceive. I strongly feel our perceptions are made, or we follow the perceptions based on what we see or what we hear. For example, I made certain things here to represent my thoughts, my inner feelings about various stuff. Okay, some things are good, some things are not. See, this is what I made about our news channels or where we get our information. It can be by few well educated people, but that doesn't mean it is always 100% the truth. So, how do we get the complete true perception or true uh, things that are around us? What's happening around us, the news around us. If we get fragmented small pieces of information from here and there, either various agencies or news channels or various things, but what we see is we see through the net, we through the whatever agency or whatever things that we watch, it kind of gets misrepresented, or it allows us to have false perception. So now, because they all have certain agencies or certain interest in, either in politics, they have different agendas. So they tell you what they want us to hear. They tell us, or they show us what we need not see or what we should see with a little bit of editing here and there. They show us. So are we supposed to believe that? But we have brains. We watch different things, different viewpoints, and then figure out, looking around us, and see what is the real truth or not, which is a difficult thing. It's a tall order, but one has to do it. So now I have made my own stuff, like, this is how our confused world is. Now, and when you look at this, we all think it is made of glass, because when you see a vase or when you see anything, we think it is glass, but it is not the full truth. It's plastic. I made it with plastic to look like glass, you know. Can you see that? And when you do things, when we our perception can change. Now, when we went to Turkey, when we in Cappadocia, when we looked from the ground level, it had a very different feelings. You had different feelings or different uh, imagination, whatever it is. It was very different. But when we went on our uh, hot air balloon, we saw totally different viewpoints. That was amazing. I've written here in Japanese, there's a dream. It was beautiful. It had a total different uh, view from up. So, how do we get to go on hot air balloon to see what's happening around? Which is not possible. So, what I'm trying to say is, it is difficult. It brings about a lot of hatred in us, lots of disillusion about various things. Now, see this? This is how we are getting information, fragmented and fizzled out information, and anything you read or anything you do, but we don't have time to research. Sometimes we create our own walls. Okay, we create our own walls. So I made a 3D wall here. Okay, but it's just paper. But when we look at it, we think it is 3D. There is a real wall, but there is no wall here. Okay, it's not good to create walls between people. But sometimes we are forced to do it. I can't say no. So that depends on the circumstance. Excuse me. So it's and have you ever been to visited a illusion museum? It's it's a very interesting museum to go around. Okay, it has lots of uh, stuff that you can't imagine normally. Only when you go to the museum and you see things like, wow, that's what it is. But we've been thinking differently. For example, I made this, I drew this, did this painting, and it's in a frame, but as if the water is flowing out. Okay, so something I try to uh, say that what we see is not what we really uh, no, what we hear is not what we need to see. Okay, because it gives us different opinions. Next, can you see this? Okay, I'll lift that. It just see first when I went to I'm from a place where we had our first skyscraper in India, Chennai, LIC, Life Insurance Corporation's building. That was the tallest skyscraper. And in 80s, when I went to Singapore, I saw all kinds of buildings which are tall, and it was like totally like a Lego buildings. But now I am living in a place or a country which has the most number of um, skyscrapers in the world. Everywhere you have tall buildings, and this is a country of uh, earthquakes, but still we have tall buildings, and it makes you think they are not Lego buildings; they are really buildings. For small children, it's amazing. For people who are not been to many places, when you visit any country, any developed country, or any country which is advanced, you see lots of tall buildings and glassy and reflective windows, reflective glass doors. It makes you wonder, wow, wow, look at the building. Now, I don't have that last 20, 30 years of living here, 30, 35 years of living here. I don't admire, oh, those kind of glass buildings or glassy buildings. I still feel I like the old World Heritage sites, old ones. Okay. Now, these are some of the things that come to my mind when we talk about perception. Now, I made something for illusion. I want you all to see that with the help of, because I have to hold on to somebody. I have to, just a minute. I need to do some things for you to get the correct. Can you see that? This is an illusion I made. See that? So let's not fall for our illusion. It's not right to fall for illusion, but for the actual truth. We have to seek the truth and open our minds. Okay. Then when we approach anything with that open mindedness or open forward thinking, then we can have peace in this world. It's all closed, making walls and closed down doors is not going to bring any peace in this world. We have to open our minds. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, I'm having a cough because it's getting cold here. Sometimes even nature teaches us something. See, this is a stone, huge stone. I cannot lift that. This is a huge stone. It was by my older son when he was about 7 or so. We went to mountainside because he used to like hiking. We went there and there was this stone there, round stone, oval shaped, egg shaped thing. And he kept saying that he had to carry it. We had to take it home. It's like a dinosaur egg, mom. We have to take it. I said, we can't lift that and carry it all the way, like to the car, even. The parking was a little far away. But he decided to carry it. It was very heavy. He carried it all the way to the car and was lying in the house. It was about 30 years ago. Yeah, 30 years ago. He carried it and we brought it to our own house also when we bought that. And it was lying out in the sun and it's a rock, so nothing is going to happen. Then finally, I made the perception. Even nature tells us, when we look at the mountains, when we look at the birds, when we look at the water, river, it tells us a lot about the world around us. Okay, at least for me, it tells. That's why, like any break I get, I want to go near the mountains and rivers. It gives a peace of mind. See, I put a binoculars. Can you see it? Switch on the light now. See the light? Binoculars. The bird is really far, but when you look through the binoculars, it makes it look closer. It makes it look closer as if you are right next to that. So these are the correct perception. We should know that the bird is not close by or the animal is not close by. It's far. But still, we got to be careful. Even when you see the side rear mirror in the car, it says, side rear mirrors. It gives a warning. What you see is not very far from you, it's very close, you know. So these are some of the things that nature also tells us. For example, a giraffe. Giraffe, we know it's a very, very tall animal, but a small ant can annoy the big tall animal, or it can tickle the animal too. Can the giraffe see that ant, small tiny ant, the way where it is? Because it's tall, it's way above, uh, you know, a tall tree. But when you can't see a small ant, but when it wants to see the small ant, what it needs to do is it has to go down on its knees. It has to go down on its knees and bend below to see the actual, the tiny ant, and then shake its hand and maybe become friends. So why do we put ourselves above the rest and look from heights and see the wrong things? Or you have to go down to their level or go up to their level, whatever level they are, and then see for yourself what they want, or why do they behave certain way, why our perceptions are right or wrong, are they real illusion, are they really real, the truth. So we have to examine ourselves. If we have to achieve this, our perception has to change first. The basic perception that is built over years, it has to change a bit to the modern world, because now you get any news anywhere in the world instantly. So when you don't make impression, the first impression is very important when you go for an interview. But in the real world, when you watch something, immediately you come to conclusion because of the perception that we have. Is it true or not? Is it by a small group or a big thing behind it, big agency behind it, or a big group behind it? What do we do with that? We try to solve the issues. Why does it happen? Even in even in schools, when a child cries, the general sympathy goes for person who cry.
But the whole instigator behind the whole event might be the crying child.
So that's a perception. When you cry, when you do certain things, when you keep on complaining, you think that they are telling the truth. When you, even the lies, if you keep saying it again and again, it might sound as truth. Okay. So we got to be careful. Even in our real world, even in our life, day to day life, we got to take precaution against all these falling into these pits, illusion pits, I can call it. Okay. When you watch the lights going, growing, wow, that's nice, it's beautiful. But then it's 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 only an illusion. It's not the truth. So as I always say, nothing is impossible. We can do it. We can change our perception. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But it's not difficult too. I had a lot of perceptions too. This is like this, that's like this. This is how you learn, that's how you do. But then when you talk to even young people, you get to know what it is. Wow, that is the truth. You hear a lot of things about various stuff that is going around us. So let's be careful. Let's not decide by our perception, right or wrong. Let's not fall into the pits of illusion. So let's break the walls, and as I always say, nothing is impossible. We can achieve it. That's the peace. Let's perceive the world with empathy, clarity, and honesty. You know, then life will be peaceful. We don't have to worry about a lot of mundane things. Let's be happy. Let's be peaceful. Let's not fight with one another for no reason, no qualms. Let's be peaceful. Let's find peaceful solution to most of the issues, or all the issues, I should say. Okay. So Let's not fall into the pits of illusion. Let's have clear perception of various things. Okay? Nothing is impossible. Let's see again. Bye bye.